It was supposed to be just another quiet weekend on my ranch. Peaceful, calm, just me, my animals, and the open land. But that calm didn't last long. Out of nowhere, a woman I'd never seen before pulled up to my gate in a shiny SUV, wearing sunglasses and an attitude. She didn't say hello. She didn't introduce herself. Instead, she walked straight up, pointed to my house, and said, "You need to leave. My son deserves this place more than you do." Asterisk. I honestly thought it was a prank at first. I laughed a little, thinking maybe she was lost or had the wrong property. But she wasn't joking. She claimed to be part of the local HOA, even though my ranch isn't even under any HOA rules. She started ranting about how her son needed a peaceful space to reset his life, and that I was just a temporary resident standing in his way. I told her politely but firmly that this was my land, paid for, registered, and not up for debate. That's when things took a turn. She pulled out her phone, dialed 911, and told the operator I was trespassing on her son's future home. I could hear every word. The entitlement was off the charts. I was stunned, standing there wondering how someone could feel so bold and entitled to demand ownership over something they didn't even know. Her exact words: "We've already decided to move in. He needs the space. This man is squatting. I kid you not." As I waited for the cops to arrive, I couldn't help but ask myself, who is this woman? Why is she so sure she can take over my ranch? And more importantly, what's her endgame? But just when I thought it couldn't get any more ridiculous, something happened that made me realize this wasn't just a random neighbor dispute. This was personal, and it wasn't just about land anymore. I stood there trying to piece everything together while she paced in front of the gate like she already owned the place. The 911 call had ended, but she stayed on her phone, probably texting someone. A few minutes later, she muttered something about her contacts on the city council and how she was done waiting for things to fall into place. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a random Karen moment. This woman came here with a plan. Now for some background. This ranch has been in my family for years. It's not just a house with some land. It's where I grew up helping my dad fix fences, feed livestock, and learn what hard work really means. After he passed, I did everything I could to keep it going. There's no HOA here, no suburban street, no shared walls, just acres of space and the sound of nature. So the idea that someone from a nearby subdivision thought they had any claim on it, absolutely insane. I remembered hearing rumors a few months ago about some developers wanting to modernize parts of the area. Folks from a nearby HOA community had started sniffing around, asking who owned what and how flexible we were on selling. I always said no, every time. Maybe that didn't sit well with someone. And this lady, let's just say she fits the mold of every HOA horror story you've ever heard. Designer shoes in the dirt, barking orders like she's running a board meeting. She called me disrespectful. She said I was being unreasonable for not stepping aside so her son could have a fresh start in the peace of the countryside. The son, by the way, never showed his face. Just her, acting like a real estate agent, life coach, and sheriff all rolled into one. Then I noticed something else. A black pickup truck parked just down the road. I hadn't seen it before. It hadn't moved since she arrived. Whoever was in there hadn't gotten out, but I could feel eyes watching. Something about it felt off. This wasn't just a crazy neighbor moment anymore. This was something bigger. I kept glancing at the black pickup truck parked just beyond the tree line. Tinted windows, engine running, still no movement. It wasn't a coincidence, that much I was sure of. It felt like someone was waiting for a signal, like this whole thing was staged. Meanwhile, the woman, who still hadn't told me her name, kept circling my front gate like a vulture, talking to herself and typing furiously on her phone. A few neighbors had driven by slowly, probably wondering what was going on, but no one stopped. That's how it is out here. People tend to mind their business unless it lands in their yard. I thought about calling someone for backup, but who do you even call when someone's trying to take your land with nothing but nerve and a cell phone? Then she said something that chilled me. You can make this easy, or you can drag it out. But either way, we're not going away. So there it was. This wasn't just her idea. There was a group behind this. I started wondering if that HOA she claimed to be part of had cooked up some plan to expand their territory. Maybe they'd gotten pushed back in the past and now figured bullying a lone landowner would be the easier route. I kept thinking about her son too. Why hadn't he shown up? Was he even real? Or was she using him as an excuse to push her own agenda? The way she spoke about him was weird, like he was fragile, troubled, someone who needed to be kept away from city stress. Maybe there was something more going on behind that. Maybe this wasn't just about land, but about hiding something or someone. And then, like clockwork, a sheriff's cruiser turned off the main road and started down my long driveway. Lights on, but no siren. She suddenly straightened up, like she'd been expecting this moment all along. She smiled, actually smiled, like things were finally going her way. I stood still, heart pounding, staring at that black truck, then at the approaching cruiser. I had a feeling things were about to get even messier, and I wasn't wrong. The sheriff's cruiser rolled to a stop just a few feet from where we were standing. Dust rose into the air as the door opened, and out stepped a deputy I didn't recognize. Young guy, clean uniform, but the way he looked at her first, not me, told me something was off right away. She waved at him like they were old friends, and he gave her the kind of nod that wasn't just polite. It was familiar, too familiar. Afternoon, he said, glancing at me for barely a second before turning to her. You the one who called? She crossed her arms and gave a dramatic sigh, like she'd been suffering for hours. Yes, thank you. I've been trying to resolve this peacefully, but he refuses to leave the property. My son's already lined up to move in, and this man is trespassing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This is my land, I said, stepping forward. I've got the deed in my house. I've lived here for years. There's no HOA, no shared property, and no one has any right to this place except me. The deputy looked a little uncomfortable now, like he realized this wasn't the simple call he thought it was. All right, he said, scratching his head. Let's just keep it calm and figure out what's going on. She wasn't having it. No, I told you. He's been warned. This is an ongoing situation. The HOA has already issued notices. We've made offers. He's refused to cooperate. That's why we're taking legal steps now. I could feel my jaw clench. The is no HOA here, I repeated. Check the zoning. Check the property lines. Whatever she's talking about doesn't apply to this land. Then something strange happened. The black truck's door finally opened. A man stepped out, tall, dark clothes, sunglasses, and started walking toward us slowly. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. The look on her face said it all. She smirked, like everything was falling into place. The deputy glanced back nervously, clearly not expecting backup from someone who wasn't in uniform. That's when I knew I wasn't just dealing with a nosy neighbor or a pushy mom. This was something bigger, something planned, and whatever was about to happen next, I had a feeling it wasn't going to be good. The man from the black truck kept walking toward us, slow and deliberate, like he was in no rush because he already knew how things were going to play out. He didn't say a word, but his presence shifted the whole energy. Even the deputy stiffened up, like he wasn't sure whether to acknowledge him or stay quiet. That told me everything. Whoever this guy was, he had some kind of pull, or at least they thought he did. The woman finally broke the silence. This is Mr. Daltrey, she said, her voice smooth now, rehearsed. He's representing the development group acquiring this land. We've already started the paperwork. We tried to handle it privately, but since you refused to engage, we're moving forward with enforcement. I looked at her like she'd lost her mind. What enforcement? You can't just show up with a guy in sunglasses and claim you've bought my land. This is fraud. Mr. Daltrey finally spoke, and his voice was calm but firm, almost smug. We're not here to argue. We're here to inform you that an offer was submitted and recorded through a third-party holding company. We have reason to believe the land title is under review due to clerical errors in the county office, which means technically you may not have legal ownership at the moment. That hit like a punch to the gut. I didn't even know how that was possible. I hadn't missed any payments. I hadn't signed anything. But the way he said it, with such confidence, made it sound real. Like somehow they found a loophole or created one. The deputy took a step back and started murmuring into his radio, clearly trying to make sense of what he'd walked into. I could tell he hadn't signed up for this level of drama. I was still trying to process when I heard a second vehicle approaching. This time, it wasn't another sheriff or a neighbor. It was a black SUV with no plates. It pulled up right behind Daltrey's truck, and two more people stepped out, both wearing suits, both carrying folders. That's when it really hit me. This wasn't about one crazy neighbor or some HOA nonsense. This was a full-on land grab operation, and I was standing directly in the middle of it. The two people from the black SUV walked straight up to Daltrey without even glancing at me. One of them, a woman with a tight bun and a clipboard, handed him a document and whispered something in his ear. His confident posture shifted slightly. Not enough for the others to notice, but I caught it. Something had just gone wrong for him. I stepped forward, my voice steady but sharp. You said my land title was under review. Show me the paperwork. He didn't respond right away. The clipboard woman shot him a quick look, then turned to me and said, "There's been a misunderstanding. We're only here to deliver a notice of claim for an adjoining parcel, not your property." I blinked. Adjoining? You mean land asterisk next to asterisk mine? Daltrey's jaw tightened. He turned toward her. That's not what you told me. She ignored him and faced me again. Your title's clean. We just confirmed with the county registrar. Whatever Mr. Daltrey assumed, it doesn't apply to your ranch. That's when Karen, still standing smugly near the gate, exploded. No, this isn't right. He was supposed to be flagged. The paperwork went through. She looked at Daltrey, voice rising. You said we could take it over. My son asterisk needs asterisk this place. The deputy, who had mostly been a bystander until now, finally stepped in. Ma'am, unless you have a lawful claim, you're trespassing. I'm going to ask you to leave the property. She started shouting about her son again, waving her arms, saying things like emotional support needs and community promises. But the tide had turned. Daltrey stepped back, face pale, and without a word, started walking to his truck. The clipboard woman and her partner followed, saying nothing. The deputy gently guided the woman toward her car. Ma'am, please. As she got in, she turned back one last time. This isn't over, she hissed. We have friends in higher places. He doesn't know who he's messing with. And just like that, they were gone. I stood there, the ranch silent again, the dust settling. But just as I turned to head back toward my porch, my phone buzzed. It was an email from the county office, sent minutes ago. Subject line, **URGNT. Review of boundary adjustments in progress ****. I opened it and froze. A new development map was attached, and it showed a proposed road cutting * directly through * the heart of my land. I stared at the map on my phone, heart pounding. That road wasn't a mistake, it was deliberate. A straight line from the edge of the nearby HOA development, slicing right through my property. It all made sense now. This wasn't just about Karen's son or some shady land agent. It was about expansion. They weren't just trying to take my land. They were trying to open a gateway for the HOA to push into open ranchland and build out their next phase. My ranch was in the way. The next few days were a blur of phone calls, emails, and a few sleepless nights. I met with a land use attorney who confirmed what I feared. They were trying to fast-track a rezoning plan that hadn't even been voted on yet. The good news: with proof of their intimidation attempt and that bogus claim from Daltrey, I had leverage. Real leverage. I filed a formal complaint with the county, submitted all the footage from that day, including body cam footage the deputy agreed to release, and made sure my deed and title history were locked in with extra documentation.